start? What do you want to do?
You can start if you want.
Okay, why don't you start? I don't
Okay.
want to overlap. Go ahead, and I'll keep letting them in.
All right. How's everybody doing? Everybody having a good weekend so far? Good summer so far. Lots of good stuff going on. It's busy. It's the end of the month. We've got one more day, lots of good stuff. I'm going to bring up my slides and go through some things with you all. And if you've been under a rock and you haven't seen this, we have the company. This is a pretty cool sale. I mean, this is a great way, some of these things we can stock up on. It doesn't include obviously the main products, any Protandim, any collagen or any GLP-1. But it's a really good deal, on a lot of other things that we use month after month. So I know anytime this sale comes on, we stock up on, particularly the things that we don't use as much in a bundle. Um,
Well, in,
it's
in April, let me
when,
just share this with everyone. A lot of people ask, well, they're running a sale, and how come it's not the Protandims? How come it's not GLP-1 or collagen? And you got to understand from a business standpoint, you never, ever, ever want to mess around with subscriptions. Okay, and those are the products that are on subscriptions. So the sale is always going to be on everything else in the product line because the subscriptions, that's at all of us, that's our income,
yeah.
and that's how we build a business. Your business only truly grows as the subscription number goes up. Okay, because you can have months where you do a lot of recruiting and if you don't get those new consultants on subscription, it's just a little blip in income, but it's not going to be steady. So we never mess around with subscriptions, and those products are our subscription products. So that's why when there's a sale, it never includes the main products. So go ahead, April.
Okay, so yeah, these are at a good price. We get a lot of our steady customers try things that they don't normally do during this time. And this is the value of being on the app at this point because it should be updating you when people order, which is pretty cool. You can send them a quick thank you. If you didn't let them know, about all the different products you're talking about and stuff, this is a good time to do that as well. So that is only through tomorrow night, midnight. So we don't have a whole lot of time on that as well. So, all right. Okay. Again, tomorrow, last day for the customer codes. You've each been given 1 and 3 consultant codes. Make use of those. And again, I know we've gone through this again, but some of those packages, like the new weight loss package that they've put out, 245, that's almost $25 off their order. That makes a big difference. I know Bobby and I just did one of those, and it's makes a big difference on the amount of money that they have to spend by the time they pay tax and stuff on these packages. So make sure again in your back office, in your app, you just can grab those codes. And a lot of times it'll remind you as you're checking out if you pulled a cart for somebody that you have a code available as well too. So tomorrow will be the last day for those. Okay, so this is our Club Fast Lane. We've got quite a few more people that have been added to it. It's a great thing when you think about it. It's 400 points, and we really don't know what that's going to mean because the company's not going to tell us. I think Bobby, you said Brandon may leak it on the 1st. The company has said maybe on the 12th. They're not going to tell us exactly what it means. But think about what it means for your business. When you do at least 400 points in a month, you know, is that 1, 2, 3, 4 new people in some way, whether they're customers or consultants? But what if you did that every month? That's 12, 24, 36, 48 new people. So, it's really not, it's a big achievement to continually be adding people to your business every month. So, so proud of these people. So excited that we have so many that are continuing. And again, we'll probably get a lot more today, tomorrow. But these are a few. So Elena Pop, Corolla, Bostra, and I can never say Rustama is the doctor as well, and
Ristamova.
she's doing a great job. Yeah, I should close all this up, but anyway. And then we have Deanne who's on here, Angelina Kardash, and Kenneth who is on here as well. And you're going to get to hear from Kenneth in a little while, so that'll be exciting. Bert Brinkman, Dr. Catalina Grigio is on here, and then Bobby and I have also made it. And then these are some of the newer ones. Debbie Briggs, who's on here as well. Fred and Shirley, who you heard from him there with their grandsons. And then this was a new exciting addition. She did this just yesterday, so,
One day.
which is very exciting. She's done a lot before that, but officially did her 400 points, and that was super, super exciting there. So Kenneth, I'm going to let you share your very, very exciting meeting. And I know my husband came bouncing through the door, super excited. So,
Yeah, I just see my internet's going a little bit in and out here. So let's see if it stays on.
okay.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah, it was really exciting. Yeah, we were up in Frankfurt, and as Bob said, I thought that was in Germany. I said, no, we're just going outside of Chicago, right? And it was a great time. We had a really good showing. Sheila is up there. You can see her in the red jacket in the bottom middle picture there. She has a new group that she's getting started. Did a presentation. Thanks to Bob for coming up and crushing it, right? Just explaining everything, and we just got a lot of excitement going. And one of the big takeaways was we try to put a really big focus on pro tandem and right, not just using this product, but pro tandem and that was that rung in clear, and it really showed me that if you or if we put focus on that, well, then it happens. I always say in my other Orange Theory business, whatever I put focus on happens, right? And if we just start and changing our talking points a little bit, it's like, well, of course we're always going to do pretendum and something, right? Then that just increases our volume. It makes sure that they stay on our products for a long time, and all the orders we put through yesterday because we had three new consultants and three or four customers. Um, they were all with Protandem in the customer order. So that was phenomenal. So, but it just shows you how in person really. I mean, it's nice on Zoom and on a phone call and texting as well, but in person is great, right? You know, in person just makes such a big difference. And I think I'm catching myself in getting to texting a lot. But after yesterday, I'm gonna start calling more because just having that voice to voice communication, I think is undeniably much better, right? I know we say, well, people don't like to talk. Well, I think people do like to talk. People are missing that person to person contact. So yeah, it was a fun event, and thank you to as you can see in the pictures here, Dr. Goodman, Jay, Carlina were up there. Rhonda
Rhonda
was
was
there, so it was
there.
really,
Yeah, it was
really,
great.
really fun. Yeah, thank you for coming.
It's funny. I was joking, and and for me, it was great spending time with Kenneth too, because we don't always get a lot of time. We try and meet for breakfast once a week, but that well, not once a month, but that don't always happen either. But one thing I do want to share with you, and we were talking a little bit about this over the course of the weekend. And April, I love your new spelling of Chicago. It's just great. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
I just love that. You have changed the spelling of Chicago. It's just awesome. But it's funny. I was watching the news and there was a special segment and they were talking about how some of these dating apps are starting to go out of business or having to lay off large segments of the people that work for them. And you say, well, what does dating app have to do? Dating app has nothing to do with our business, but what they were saying is people are tired of virtual stuff. They're tired of having to meet a person through a text or a chat or looking at a fake picture, online. And the popularity is swinging back to in person. Okay. And, I've said it all along. We are wired to need each other. We are wired to be around each other. We're humans. And it's all, the answer is always going to lie in a balance. Yes, technology is great and social media is great and texting and chat, all of that is great. But the best way to do business will always be in person. And it was funny, you look at 2 days out of your schedule, two airplane tickets, two hotel rooms, and meals and all, whatever incidental expenses, but you're never going to know what you have, what the potential is if you don't go in person. And believe me, we were both, and this is Kenneth's group, but I he keeps me informed, and I know that Sheila's a nurse practitioner. I know she was doing a great job. She had bought a lot of wholesale product, and the office had sold it, and she was in Africa visiting family for half the month, and they sold the product, and there was just a lot of potential. But until we went and met and went out to dinner and met some of her friends and then met her husband, met her daughters, and all that. What was really great about the meeting? Just about all the guests in the meeting were already on product. They had already bought product from her or from the office. And now they learned, wow, if you add the Protandem to it, it works better. Especially with the GLP-1 and collagen. Protandim makes everything work better. And then it was like, wow, there's a business here too. I could save money on the product and make money. And we're in Frankfurt, Illinois, and I only thought there was a Frankfurt, Germany. And we could be the first. And I'm telling you, folks, when you get a new person started in your business, and I know we love Zooms and I know we love technology, but you're never going to know what can happen, and you're never going to have a bond or a relationship until you get there in person. And just keep it in mind moving forward. We're halfway through the year. Can you imagine? 2025 is half gone, and it's amazing, but I'm telling you, start thinking more in person. Just start thinking more, and you're going to get your best results in person. It's never going to We're going to use the tools, and the tools are going to change as the years go by, but in person is alive and well, and I'm so thrilled that we're getting back to more in person because COVID sent everybody into like Zoom only mode, and so go ahead, April. I know you
Yeah.
got more, but anyway, I'm not sure if Sheila's on or any of her new consultants are on. It was absolutely a pleasure meeting you, spending time with you, and we can't wait to help you build a gigantic business. And to Jaya and Catalina and Ira and Rhonda, thank you so much for coming down, supporting the meeting, sharing your testimonies, and joining everybody for lunch afterwards. So thank you all. April?
Okay. Yeah, that sounded like such an exciting meeting. So it's always better to get in person. Even, it's funny, I sent Bobby a picture today. Do you know that locally we have a pickleball networking now? So networking is not the old networking anymore of breakfast, stand up and give a 60-minute thing. It's actually more fun. So, it can be a happy hour, it could be pickleball. So, if you're at a loss of how to get out and meet some new people, that certainly is a good option these days.
Now
So
that's my kind of networking meeting, pickleball.
yeah, I had to send that to you right away. Yeah.
Don't that sound better than a regular networking meeting?
You don't have to stand around and talk to anybody you don't want to. So.
And if you don't like them, you can whack them with the ball.
Yeah. All right. And this is Catalina and I, Tuesday night are going to do just a GLP-1 overview. So no business. There won't be any collagen, no other products, just the GLP-1 and the Protandim package together. We're going to talk about, and this is meant for, I'm thinking of this in a few different ways. You may have people that are sitting on the fence that just maybe need more information. Maybe they want to hear from a doctor. Maybe they're looking at the business, but they're not sure if this really works. Maybe they need to hear more. our whole business is about events, and ideally we would love if there was an event locally that we could just put somebody in the car and bring them to. But you know what? That's not always possible. So the next best thing is, get them on a Zoom to something that they can, want to hear more about and get excited about. So again, this will be a quick Zoom that we're going to do. But it's just, we're using it as another event to be able to share what the GLP-1 is, and how it's working, in our company and for our people and stuff. And so that's Tuesday night. Same Zoom ID as always, so not to confuse anybody, no passwords or anything. So, all right, so I'm going to close this up. And then, where did it go? Okay. Oh, I forgot one more. Okay. And these are registered again for Dallas. In person is so important too. So those ones are registered for Dallas. So, okay. All right. We good? We're back to normal? Okay.
Yep, we're back to normal.
So the next thing that we want to talk about, Bobby and I are going to kind of go back and forth with this, is the end of the month. We're here. And so sometimes we're not really focused on the end of the month. And the end of the month is something we treat a little bit different than maybe most of the other days of the month. Obviously we're still actively talking to people, but we need to kind of tie up loose ends. And so a few of the things that you may do is, first, certainly make sure that you are qualified, that you're qualified to get paid. And so depending on the level you are in the company, that can be anywhere between having customer volume, or at least personally 150, having 200 there, that gets a little bit confusing. If you're not sure, ask your upline, but at least 200 to 300 get you qualified in your business. I got to tell you, the company is doing a great job of going down the list too, and just reminding people if they're short on volume. And I really like the fact that they're overseeing a lot of that, because so many people are part-time, spare time. And I think the back office is one of the least places they go. So again, if you're not sure on that, make sure that
folks, go with 300, because even if you're brand new, you may have 1 month where it could be less than that, but 300's the number, and at least half of it has to be customer. The other half could be you, but keep in mind, it could be all customer. Now, that's really never going to happen because we use product, so there's always going to be some volume in there from our own subscription. I mean, there's always going to be something there, but it can be all customer. Okay. You could have 300, you could have, 300 points in customer points, and your business is qualified for all bonuses. Okay. Everything, all commissions. So, and that's, if you're new, that's something that I absolutely would just want to get put away early in my career. I would want to have 3, 4, 5 customers that just are ordering every month, and I never have to worry about my business being qualified for all the commissions. That's and then not to mention, but you got your Onyx bonus, your Emerald bonus, your Sapphire bonus, and your Diamond bonus. Okay, it pays well to have a lot of customers. It's you're getting an extra 5% if you go over 500 points. You're getting an extra 10% if you go over 1,000. You're getting an extra 15% if you go over 2,000, and you're getting an extra 20% if you hit 4,000. And then you can go insane like Kenneth and have like 29,000 and but they stopped at that at the extra 20%. Okay. But, maybe someday we'll get to lobby for more if it gets bigger, but that is definitely something that, and that's immediate income. Do you know the first 10% that goes right out to you when the subscriptions ship? It's like 2 days later when the subscriptions go out, say on the 5th and on the 10th and the 15th, 20th, 25th, whatever subscriptions went out for you, okay, the 10% on that orders get sent to you right away. That's immediate income. The bonus doesn't get paid until the month ends. And the reason for that, and keep this in mind, folks, because this is a very powerful thing I'm about to say, and a percentage. the 5, 10, 15, and 20%, that gets paid at the end of the month because the entire month it's retroactive. In other words, you could be an Onyx on the 5th, okay, where you had 3, 4, 5 orders go out and you're over 500 points. Well, you don't want to get paid as an Onyx. You got the whole month to go. Okay, so whatever it is at the end of the month, whatever your customer volume points are, you're getting paid that highest percentage on all of your customers for the whole month. So that's why another reason why the end of the month is so crucial. You can dramatically change your income by getting up to that next gemstone rank. Okay, because it's retroactive on all your customers for the month. And I said this last week, but I really think most people do not understand that it is retroactive for the whole month and what it means in dollars and cents. A lot of people, they just look at their commission statement and don't necessarily understand where it came from. They're just like the check that they got. But when you start analyzing and you're aware of it, you can change those numbers pretty easily because they are retroactive. Okay. And the other thing that a lot of people get confused with, you do understand the customers can be the same customers over and over every month. You know, they're the same. You're getting paid, we get paid the same commission every month, not just the first month, we get it every month. So you would never want to stop adding customers. And I can tell you, and you know, Kenneth was there and a lot of the other folks on the screen were there yesterday at the meeting that we did. And when you start to realize that you have a lot of GLP-1 customers or a lot of collagen customers, and they're starting to get before and after results, the easiest thing in the world to do is convert them to consultants so they can begin getting paid, begin getting their product for free, and get a lower price on their own purchases. And that's when it really gets to be fun. And when you've seen us do our compensation plan, not our opportunity meeting, and you see me doing the little triangles, you know, you're a diamond and you get two and you're earning 10% on them, you could see how easily that happens when you got satisfied customers. Okay. So I'm telling you, retroactive is really, really strong. And you know, just don't ever forget that. And that's why it's always worthwhile at the end of the month, the last 72 hours, 48 hours, 24 hours to push because it can change what you earn on everything you did for the whole month. So, April?
Yeah, I think it's a mindset. I was talking to, I'm not going to tell any figures, but I was talking to Catalina a little bit earlier or yesterday. I forget exactly when it was, but she knew exactly to the penny what she needed to get to the next rank. She knew exactly what she needed to do. And, you know, two of the downfalls in our business is we don't know where we are in our business. You know, we can be so close to that next rank, you know, next gemstone. We have no idea. The other big thing is, and it's a sad thing because it's a huge marketing tool for you. People don't know what they make. You know, with all the little drippings through the month of these wire transfers and, you know, putting on a card or whatever you're doing with to get paid, people don't realize what they make. And I can tell you in talking to people, extra money is huge right now. People are they have sticker shock everywhere over everything, you know. So I think it's so important if you can just show somebody, you know, I made this and this is what I'm earning, it gets to be really powerful. So, you know, I would challenge you to know, because, you know, you could do a month, you can do a year, and, you know, that really starts to add up for people. So, you know, keep that in mind as well. The other thing that I like to do at the end of the month is there's back in the reports, there's a place where your unsuccessful credit card charges go through, not yours personally, but for your customers and your downline. And, you know, I always love it because I wound up having a conversation with people that, you know, hadn't talked to. I should keep up better with customers and just everyone in general. It gets a little out of hand sometimes, but it's a great way just to remind them, because the way that credit
Hey,
Sorry,
Bridget. Yeah,
Bobby.
all right,
Yeah,
sorry.
you muted me. The way that people's cards are getting compromised these days, it's pretty fast. I mean, I know Bobby had a run on his American Express. I think you went through 4 or 5
Three,
cards before it quieted
three,
down a
three,
little.
3 in 5 months.
Yeah, it seemed like every time he got a card, it got compromised again. So, that's happening to a lot of people, and they don't always realize. I know I talked to a lady yesterday, and she was like, I kept meaning to call you because I didn't get my product yet, and so it was on her mind that she didn't have it, but everybody's busy, 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 busy. So luckily I saw that, her card had gotten compromised. And so we were able to get a new card in so she could get a product and stuff. So keep that in mind. That's another great report to be looking at. And it takes you all of 2 seconds. You can let your downline know too if you see they've got a lot of cards that did go through.
So the other thing, folks, is yes, we're closing the month out. The sale is ending. This is a great time to stock up, like April said, stock up on Axio, stock up on fat burn, stock up on skincare, stock up on shampoo and conditioner. This is the time because it's all on sale. Okay, so this is the time to stock up on that stuff. But the other thing I want to share with you, in line what I was saying with in-person and live events, you know, in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from yesterday, we have the July 12th virtual coming. And you should be doing one of two things. Everybody on here, okay? Your business is going to grow if you're around more live people, okay, in person. And with that virtual, you should either be attending a watch party or hosting one, one or the other. It doesn't matter which one you do, but and obviously, the more the merrier. I mean, if you could bring, if you got customers and you could bring them to see an event like that, like we're going over Brandon Cunningham and Holly and Brian Highfield and Arcel, we're co-hosting an event over on the west coast of Florida. So we're headed over there. If we weren't headed over there, we'd be hosting something here. But think of it, you still got 2 weeks, and the company's making a big deal. And I guess supplying some props and doing some recognition or accolades for the watch parties. Okay, so just keep in mind that is an important part of our business. You either attend or you host. Okay, one or the other. So, and if you haven't registered, if for some reason you're not doing either one of them and you're just planning on watching alone, okay, you still have to register. Okay. And if you're going to a watch party and they already registered, you want to register anyway because that gives you access to all the replays and the different stuff that they send out to the people who registered for the event. So if you didn't register for it, you're not going to get any of the other stuff. And you know that they're going to announce new things. You know that. Okay. There's a likelihood they'll be teasing us about a product. There's a likelihood they may be mentioning or telling us about the next trip. Who knows? Okay. They did the 400 points, the Club Fast Lane, for a reason. Okay. They got something that they're going to surprise us with, whatever it might be. So, why you, excuse me, why you still got 2 weeks, plan on either hosting or attending, one or the other. So, and I mean, you could host and have 5 people over. It don't have to be a big party. It's just do your best to not be alone. Be around other people to watch it and share the excitement with. April?
Yeah, you know what's bothering me? We have to apologize. I wrote up a Club Fast Lane for Dr. Goodman, and I don't know where it is. I'm just flipping through. So I apologize. He's another one. I did it and I put it in, and then I don't know where it went, but I apologize for that as well.
We got you, Ira. We'll make sure we get you next
Yes.
week.
I printed it all up pretty. I'm just looking. It's not in the slides. So
No, and it's funny because I went over it with them to make double check, and there were four
yeah,
customers, and it was over 400 points. So
yeah. I was sitting here. It was bothering me. I'm like, I don't remember saying
you're
that.
you're in there, Ira. Apologies.
Congratulations. That's a huge achievement. So happy for you. So let's see what else that was bothering me. I don't know. I lost track. That was bothering me.
April got Sheila, Kenneth. She
Yeah,
had
I got
Sheila.
Sheila. Yeah, I got
She had
Sheila.
Sheila.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We had quite a few today
We
come
had
in.
quite a
So
few, and we had
yeah,
some of the Dutch and Belgium
yeah,
ones make it too. So yeah,
yeah,
you lost Ira. You may have lost one
yeah.
or two
I
others too,
made it
but
up and it was in there, and I think I don't know, switching stuff around. It like I don't know where it went.
so again, if you have points in, that's another thing you want to try. Now, I know 300 qualifies you, but because the company's got some sort of surprise, you may want to stretch to 400 and be part of that club fast lane. But April, let's open it up if anyone's got questions because we're already at
Okay.
32 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyone have anything, questions, comments, thoughts, ideas in reference to what we're going over tonight? And again, I just want to thank everyone in Chicago and Frankfurt for doing what they did Friday night and Saturday. It was great seeing everybody, and to me, it was just a reminder just how important it is to get around people. I mean, it's just, I like this Hollywood Squares here. We're all looking at the Hollywood Squares, and I like it, okay? And I like that we can do this anywhere in the world, but there's no comparison to like what we did yesterday. They're not the same thing. So, anyone?
Hi, Bob. Hi, Bob. This is Sheila.
Is this Sheila? Sheila? Hey, man, it was
Hi.
so great meeting you and
Sorry,
Noah and the girls.
sorry, I was taking a nap, so I don't have the face to be on video. But no, I want to thank you and Kenneth for coming out yesterday, and I learned a lot more about the product. You talking to you guys in person, and just the excitement when you talk about it is so genuine, and I think that comes through in person more than on Zoom, like you said.
Yes.
um, I think the event went so well that it's given me a lot of energy to want to do more. So I really thank you guys for taking the time out to fly out here. I know it wasn't cheap either, but your commitment to the product and to the company is just helping me be more committed. So I'll do my best.
Oh, thank you. And tell Noah we're excited about him too.
Yes, yes.
But it was a pleasure meeting you and your family and all your friends and coworkers and I can tell, and I was talking to Kenneth about this. We could just tell how your patients, customers, clients, how they just adore you and love Charisse. I mean, it's hard not to love Charisse. I mean, you just look
Yes,
at her and you want to hug her. But
yes.
yeah. Anyway, thank you for being such a great host. We enjoyed it. Anyone else?
I just want to say, April, it's a good thing I'm not sensitive.
No, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I did put it in Team Unity. You're in Team Unity, so everybody go congratulate
I'll
him.
have to, I'll
So
have
he
to
doesn't
look.
feel forgotten.
Thank you. And it was a great meeting yesterday. Really
It
nice
was
group of
fun. It's
people.
just so
And they
good
were
seeing all of you.
very, very attentive, and they asked lots of great questions. Really, really good group.
Anyone else? Are we good? So look, you know your checklist. We went over it. The sale ends tomorrow at midnight. The month closes. It's just so you know, it's a hard close, which means there will be no adjustments on Tuesday if something misses. They're closing the year out. We're publicly traded. There is no flexibility in that. So when I say midnight, it's midnight Mountain. So for us on the East Coast, it's 2 in the morning. Central, it's 1 in the morning. But if you don't get it in by midnight, it ain't getting in because it's the last month and a quarter and the last month of the year are hard closes. And when the clock hits 12, that's it. So if anything's going on tomorrow night and you're worried, you're concerned, reach out to your sponsor upline. We can reach people sometimes at the company, ex Ira with I had a friend at the company. He was trying to get a couple $1,000s worth of orders in wholesale, and we needed a figure, and We just have some friends that'd take the time out of their schedule to do it, you know. So if you find yourself in a little bit of a bind or getting a little nervous tomorrow trying to get something in, just let us know and we should be able to help you with it. Good, everyone? Good. Well, let's have a big day tomorrow. Let's finish the month strong. And one last thing, don't think you turn off the week and the weekend for 4th of July. It's when you turn it up. You don't turn it off, you turn it up. The best time to do business is when you're having fun and socializing. And based on the airport, what I saw on Friday and Saturday, people already started the 4th of July break. They decided it's the whole week with the 2 weekends. They made it a 9-day holiday. It's the whole stretch. So let's make sure as we're around people having a good time and having fun that we let them know what we do and what we have. So anyway, good night, everybody. God bless you. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.